What's good, everybody? It's your boy Sean back with another video. So I stumbled upon this video. I actually am a fan of Cruise Season. I listen to Cruise Season podcast a lot. I'm subscribed to the actual channel on YouTube. These guys do great content to me. They have great conversation, and I like their battle of the sexes a lot. I ran across this video clip on my timeline today, and I wanted to actually have this conversation, this discussion. Woman says she's usually not attracted to men that are leaders. This seems like a kind of an interesting conversation. So let's get straight to it.
I'm usually not attracted to the ones that are the leaders. Like, I don't click with them mentally and all that. I see that they're a good man, that they have those qualities and all of that, but
they're not attractive.
We're not clicking as people who have to cohabitate.
Is it physical?
No.
Because you said he got the leadership qualities.
Yes.
So what you think it is just chemistry?
It can be mannerisms, just anything. Like, the leadership is there, but the other things aren't there. The vibe is not there, I guess. And I do feel like having that vibe is important when you're choosing a partner as well, because essentially this is a person you're gonna have to spend the rest of your life with, unless you're open to like polygamy or all of that.
Now I'm assuming you're not into none of that.
Not yet. Not at this point in my life. I can't speak for myself 20 years from now.
Okay, so just from it's on this 1 minute clip. So what I would say, just from hearing the young lady speak, as far as the topic of not being attracted to men that are leaders, it's kind of confusing to me, because I would think that if you can recognize a man that actually has leadership qualities, he's actually in a good position in his life and you should settle down. I don't see why you wouldn't settle down with a person. A lot of times we run across people that could be good for us and we could be compatible and we could, build with this person, but you know what? I'm too young. I still got life to live, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to settle down too quick, this and that. Some people feel like, they meet the right person just the wrong time. I don't necessarily agree with that, because if you're looking at it like that, then you would be passing up on potentially a lot of good men and good women for the sake of having a good time out here. And then as those years and that time pass you by, physical qualities change, as well as maybe your mental qualities may change, especially with men being physical creatures that we are. Women should get out of the game quick. Go ahead and lock your man down quick. Don't wait until you in your 40s or 50s and you don't keep your body up, or your hair starts falling out, or your face starts to get wrinkles and stuff, and then wonder why you can't find a man to settle down with. Because at least if you're at the younger point of your life, we can say we knew what you looked like at your prime, versus getting somebody when you old and wrinkled. Let's just see what they were saying in the comments. She was honest. I respect the honesty because it's rare. Still a issue, but usually you got people ducking accountability. Yes, she was honest, and like I said, honesty is rare. But in the same sense, it has to be like some low-key trauma there for her to see a man who could be a good leader, who is a good leader, who has the qualities of whatever she's looking for, and still decide not to be with him. And her excuse, it was if the vibe isn't there, which is true. Sometimes the vibe, you gotta have the right vibe, but you can't expect that vibe to be just right in the very beginning. Like, that vibe is when you first meet somebody, the vibe is always fake. When you first meet a person, you meeting the best version of that person. You meeting the person that person wants you to think who they are. Time tells who the person really is. You should never hold to a person what you saw in the beginning of a person. Like I always tell people, how you start is how you end. And if you start off doing a certain thing and you stopping it because of how you started. That makes sense to anybody. There actually may be a good reason for who in particular she's talking about, because just look on her face, look like she know a guy in particular who's a good leader, but she just don't fuck with him. He irritates me, his ego, or he's too arrogant. Because that could be a case too. You can have people out here who know they the shit, who know they good leaders, who know they own they shit, and this can be real arrogant. Ego could be off the chain, and don't nobody want to deal with it, even if you are a good leader. So I can't really, say that what she's saying is sounds stupid. It sounds crazy when you just read the words on the screen. At first, I was thinking maybe she likes to control men. I was thinking the same thing, just didn't want to say it, but then I'm thinking maybe she's met a lot of arrogant, less considerate men, which is true. Like I just said, a lot of these men who hold these titles or this status, or even just the vibe of being a good leader, being manly, alpha man, sometimes they don't take in consideration, you know, this is still a woman you're dealing with. Sometimes alpha men can appear to be less emotionally available, or maybe she desires someone is more gentle and attentive. And see, that's the thing too. And I kind of just touched on it a little bit. When you're dealing with alpha men, us being as men, as being leaders, as being the alpha in the home and whatever, we still got to take in consideration that our woman is just a woman. She's still a woman. She doesn't have to be as tough as we have to be for the world. So with that being said, you still gotta come to when you lead your woman, or you're leading your household, leading your woman, you still gotta take in consideration their emotions, their feelings, and how they feel about certain stuff, right? I'm not gonna rule with the iron fist to my woman. That sounds like slavery. Your woman is a person you need to be gentle with. That's your woman, especially if you want her to do anything you need her to do. You need to be gentle with her. You don't have to be rough with her. You don't have to be hardcore with her. I agree with this comment. This comment is actually true. So basically, she doesn't think she hold a stimulating conversation, communicate well, or understand that type of man's mindset. I mean, so here's a thing too. I've noticed this about a lot of women too. Sometimes women don't like to do the work. If you're talking to a person and you're just having conversation with someone who you may be interested in, the type of conversation you guys are having, you may not know much about it, but you know enough to keep the conversation going. If they're doing something that in their life, this is what they like to do, and you may not be used to it, but you're all for doing it because you know you really want to get to know this person, then you will go research and you'll look into certain things so that next time you guys talk, you have this conversation, you can have more of a stimulating conversation, or more of an interesting conversation, or more of a progressive conversation. It shows that you're interested in what this person is interested in. A lot of times people don't do that. A lot of times people be like, if I don't know about it, I don't know about it, and I don't want to know about it. You're stunting your own social growth. There's nothing wrong with going to do a little research on certain topics so that you can keep up with the conversation, so you can have more stimulating conversation with people, or you can communicate better with people, or you can understand certain people's mindset. There's nothing wrong with that. But some people would take that as, you know, that's their problem, that man. So when you're coming across the men that have these leadership qualities or whatever, and a lot of times if they are the type of men that have leveled themselves up, they speak different types of conversations than guys who don't really care nothing about nothing. If you plan on getting with a man who's leveled up, and you tired of dealing with the men who don't level up, you gotta level yourself up. You gotta take accountability of what you into and level yourself up. And see, this is where people get stuck, because if you're tired of dealing with certain people who don't never want to level themselves up, and you want a man who is leveled up, or you want a woman who is leveled up, then you yourself have to level yourself up too. Match the requirements. And once you level yourself up, you can tell that the conversation changes. When you level up, you don't have those conversations you used to have with Pookie and Ray Ray. When you level up, you don't have those conversations you used to have Shaniqua and all them, whatever. The conversation change. The communication gets better. You start to understand different people types of mindset. Girl, the vibe will come and go. Leadership skills will produce legacy. Think bigger, sis. And this is the thing, exactly what she said. That vibe stuff come and go. Like I said, when you first meet a person, the vibes is there. The vibes is there. They have vibrations. They there. After a while, you started seeing that real person. You started to notice that the person you met on day one, that's just a facade. That was a mirage. That wasn't the real vibe. You know what I'm saying? And people always say, well, I'm just being me, this is who I am all the time. And that ain't the vibe. The vibe is seeing you both progress and level each other up. You build each other up. That's the vibe. If you're just going off the temporary feelings of the vibe in the beginning, of how the vibe should be, or whatever the case may be, you probably will always be in the position that you're in. Like the last comment said, you got to think about the bigger picture. Leadership produces legacies. The bigger picture is, in the long run, will you be well taken care of? In the long run, under this man's leadership, how better would your life be? Now, if you can't answer that question and say your life will be better than what it was by yourself, or with the old niggas or whatever, then you just keep it moving. A lot of times too, and this may be a case with her. I don't know her personally, but let's go up on a comment that said it may be an ego thing, where these men that are leaders or whatever have this arrogant ego type of vibe to them. But in the same sense, well, if that's where y'all butting heads at, that means you might have an ego and you might be arrogant too. Not saying you gotta be nobody's slave or nothing like that. But if what you saying is y'all keep butting heads, that sound like two egos to me. That sound like two people are arrogant. Sometimes for real, women aren't attracted to men who are leaders because they want to be the leaders. Sometimes you gotta know your role. And I know that's controversial out here these days for people to know their role, but there's nothing wrong with knowing your role. When you go to your job, you don't try to be the boss, do you? No, you do what you hired for. I don't see nobody walking to the boss office saying, hey, you ain't doing your job right. Do this, do that, do that. Nobody doing the boss like that. So how can we conform to the work environment or to the workplace? We don't have no problem telling them when they tell us to do stuff. But when it comes to someone who's supposed to be taking care of you, someone who loves you, someone who has feelings for you, because the jobs don't care about you. But when it comes down to that home, though, for a person who cares about you, you don't want to take leadership from that person. You don't want to take, authority from that person. Make it make sense to me. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong in the comments. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments that I'm wrong and the way I'm thinking is so messed up. Like I said, it's a certain way you lead. It's a way to lead. So you don't have to be aggressive with women. A lot of times men get aggressive because women get aggressive too. The men, hey, can you do this? You ain't got no slaves around here. Come on. Can't nobody progress like that. Honestly, we won't know why she's not attracted to leaders, because she didn't really express much of it. That's her thing. But it may be people out here who think the same way that she's thinking. So if you feel like you're not attracted to men who are leaders, let's have this conversation down in the comments. Give me reasons why you may not be attracted to leaders. I would like to know. I would like to continue this conversation respectfully. But that's going to be it for this video. Like I said before, if you guys like this video, make sure you like this video. Also, if you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. With all that being said, you guys be safe, stay cool, love yourself, love each other. Peace.